Hello students, yesterday we had finished up with this lesson, A True Story of Sea Turtles. Today we shall take up the English workshop, that's on page 30 to page number 35. I request you all to keep your textbook and your notebook ready because you need to note down the answers as I tell you. I'll even give you guidelines, children, how to go about writing your answers. Okay, so be attentive. Let's begin then. Well, you remember in the warming up, I had given you this as an homework. The question was there, write an autobiographical speech. And you had to write on 4 characters there, 4 animals, okay? That was the tiger, the monkey, the blue whale, and the wild dog. Now, what is an autobiography? I've already explained to you, but I repeat it again. When you write an autobiography of anything, you have to imagine that you are that person or thing. Like take for example, this is an autobiography of a tiger. So you imagine that you're a tiger and you're writing about yourself. Now there are already points given in your textbook. What points to write, okay? Like how the animal lives, how human interacts with him, the possible ill effects of the way human beings treat the animals, and the animal getting ready to bid farewell to this world. So here I'll just read this autobiography of a tiger. Children, you can write your own. In fact, all of you are very creative. So you can write simple sentences but write on your own. This I'm giving you as an example so that you understand. Okay? Your autobiography of a tiger. Hello, I am a tiger. I live in the jungle with my friends. I live here freely with no limits and no boundaries. Nature has bestowed us ample of land. Ample means a lot of land, water, etc. I used to prey mostly on animals like deer and buffaloes for living. But from last few years, we are in trouble. Human beings hunt and kill us. They trap us and take us to the cities. They keep us in cages, keep us hungry, and use our skin as clothes, which is not fair. Due to such actions, my friends used to attack human beings when found. We, for the sake of our life, attack human beings. We are near to extinct. If all of us die, then where will you find us? Such a heroic animal like us. I am worried that all of us will no more be a part of this world if this doesn't stop. Please save us from this danger. So, there are other characters, children. You can write that on your own. Fine. Then we have the other question here. Expand the theme. You have a question here. It says, why human beings need to use more and more natural resources. So you've got that on page number 30. So you have to write why do you think so, okay? Now the answer given here is due to increasing population, human beings need to use more and more resources. But if this is not controlled, then resources in future will decline. Decline means become less. And it will affect future generation people. So our duty is to conserve natural resource. We should use it in limited means. We should focus on renewable sources for generating energy. If the growing population is not controlled, then whole world will face a dangerous situation. Non-renewable sources once get depleted. Depleted means children get less. Cannot be created since it takes many years to form. Every single person in this world should take the responsibility to conserve the natural resources. So that was the answer, where you expand this on the theme and you write the answer. Then you have, should we conserve only the most beautiful and most useful things in nature? That's the question. Should we conserve? Is it that we should save only the most beautiful and useful things? So what is the answer? It is said that to say that we should conserve the most useful and most beautiful things in nature. But it is not 100% right to say like that. We should not think that in this big world only humans should exist and no other animals. We don't know the fact that every organism in this world is either useful for humans directly or indirectly. Most of the things in this world are not useful and not beautiful for humans, but they, in some way, are playing an important role in maintaining our ecosystem balance and healthy, and keeping it healthy. Okay, so this is a question. It's not from your textbook, but that's a personal view. Then you have a question: what is beautiful or useful? Who has the right to decide that? I think that if a person is well educated and is the lover of nature, then he or she has the right to decide what is beautiful or useful. No one in this world has the right to decide that. As mentioned earlier, that many things are not beautiful and useful in one's eye, but is useful in others' eye. This is also another personal question, students. And now we have the factual questions. Now, factual questions, if you see where your lesson begins, okay, that is page 31, you have questions on your right hand side. So, and these questions are directly children from your passage. But what you need to remember while writing these answers, you have to write it in the past tense. Okay, now look at this. What unusual occurrence did the volunteers notice? Now, this is at the beginning of your lesson. Now, volunteers, you are talking about the author and the team. Okay, they are now the volunteers. So, what unusual occurrence did they notice as volunteers roamed the coast? One of the volunteers in their team saw some shallow pits with white eggshells nearby. Inquiries with the villagers revealed that they were turtle eggs. This came as a surprise. They had never come across turtle eggs in their walks along the beaches of Konkan in all the years. This was an unusual occurrence. Okay, so this you got it in your textbook, children. But when you write, now if you see in your textbook, second line is given, as we roamed the coast. Now you are not going to write in the answer as we roamed the coast. You are going to write as the volunteers roamed the coast. So always remember, children, you don't have to copy paste the answers. Never copy paste the answers. You have to think what is asked and write it in the past tense. So here it is given, what occurrence did the volunteers notice? Write down the volunteers. Don't write, because the author is writing it, that will be in a different tense altogether. So let's move on. The next question. Why were turtle eggs seen on the beach after it had been sealed to the public? What were the implications? I had solved this question while I was doing at that time. Okay, I hope you remember. This answer is very simple. The beach was sealed to the public for nearly 1 month, so people could not access the eggs, and hence the volunteers saw the eggshell. The implications were that the turtle eggs were being stolen by the public when they had access to the beach. So you understood this, no? Only after the place was sealed, what happened to the turtle eggs? They were saved. But when it was not sealed, what happened? People used to go and steal away the egg. So what was the implication? The implication is, what does it indicate? Iska matlab kya hua? Implication is what is the meaning of this? Okay, how do you apply this? This implication that the turtle eggs were being stolen by the public. The next question there is given, why has these turtles been protected in India? Okay. Now, nearly all species of sea turtles are classified as endangered. We know that all sea turtles, there are 7 of them types we saw. If a turtle is spotted while it is still laying eggs, it is killed and eaten, and after it had finished laying the eggs. Okay. Also, the eggs of the turtles are stolen by egg hunters. All these activities will end the turtle's growth. Hence, they have been protected in India. Alright, so this is the answer. This is directly from your textbook, children. If you read your text well and you listen to the tutorials, you will know the answer. Now, why were the people asked to look for the eggs or nest in the morning? Why? The people, now this is simple, these are simple one-line answers. The people were asked to look for the eggs or nest in the morning to prevent thefts. Okay? To prevent thefts. Thefts means, stealing. Then, the elderly persons had seen the hatchlings for the first time. What does it indicate? Now, we know the elderly people, they saw the hatchlings, the young ones coming for the first time. Now, what does this mean? Now, the elderly people had seen the hatchling for the first time indicates that the theft of the turtle egg was so common that no eggs had been allowed to hatch for many years in the past. Now, if they had seen the hatchling for the first time, that means had they ever seen the young ones? No. So it was not a common thing to see the young ones. So that means it was common that no eggs had been allowed to hatch. So if the no eggs were allowed to hatch, what they used to do with the eggs? They used to steal the eggs. Eggs, they were sold, they were eaten, all this was happening. Okay? Now, why was it necessary to undertake turtle protection on a large scale? Why was it necessary? Because the survival rate of the hatchling is as low as just 1 or 2 turtles out of 1,000. We did this in the tutorial. Okay, the last concluding part. We didn't know only 1 or 2 out of 1,000 they survive. Survive means bach jata hai. Okay, is saved. Then, considering all these factors, it was necessary to undertake their protection on a large scale. Then, why were those who had stolen the eggs earlier involved in the work of protection? And this was one of the best paragraphs we did, because it's asking here, why are those who had stolen the eggs involved in protecting? जो छुड़ाते थे eggs, अभी वो protect कर रहे थे. So why? Give at least 2 reasons. So, those who had stolen the eggs earlier involved in the work of protection because why? Because they knew the exact details of where and when the turtles would lay the eggs. Yes, those who steal know exactly where and when. Okay, and the second reason was to give them a sense of responsibility. Okay, so those who stole the egg earlier, now they were protecting the egg. And what was the reason? One is because they knew the exact detail of where and when the turtle would lay eggs, and the second, the reason was to give them a sense of responsibility. जिम्मेदारी देना था उनको कि now you should not be stealing but you should be protecting. Then you have the one-line answer here. Why do the homestay family? What did the homestay families do? The homestay family gave 10% of their income to the turtle protection fund. So how much percent? 10%. Now, why was the project entrusted to the local people? Sahyadri Nisarga Mitra believed that it is not only the local villagers who can ultimately offer excellent protection to the local species. If they are given the freedom to do that, the conservation project can become sustainable. Hence, the project was entrusted to the local people. So, you have these questions all done. I've given you the answers.